Welcome to this explainer. If you've been sitting on a brilliant idea, there has literally never been a better time to turn that vision into a thriving, legitimate business in West Virginia. Today, we're going to walk through the exact step-by-step blueprint to starting your LLC with total confidence.
So, let's dive right in. By the end of this explainer, we're cutting through all that dense legal jargon to give you the practical, actionable knowledge you need to get your business off on the right foot. We are leaving no stone unturned, making sure this entire process is super accessible, even if you are a complete beginner.
To make this completely stress-free, we're going to follow 6 clear steps: naming your LLC, appointing a registered agent, filing your articles of organization, setting up operating agreements and EINs, handling state taxes, and finally, avoiding those common LLC pitfalls.
All right, step 1, naming your West Virginia LLC. West Virginia is really strict about what they call distinguishability. Basically, your name has to be completely unique from any other registered business in the state. For example, West Virginia views Mountain Trail LLC and Mountain Trails Inc. as the exact same name. They completely ignore pluralization, punctuation, and entity markers like Inc. or LLC when comparing. So small variations just won't cut it.
Keep in mind, your name absolutely must include a designator, like LLC or Limited Liability Company. You also need to avoid restricted terms like bank or attorney unless you actually hold the specific professional licenses to use them. Oh, and before you do anything else, you should always check availability first using the state's free business entity search database online. Finding out your name is available right now saves you from a rejected application and a wasted filing fee later on.
Moving right along to step 2. Appointing a registered agent.
So what is that? Well, a registered agent, which is formally called an agent of process in West Virginia, acts as your official, reliable point of contact. If your company is ever sued, the formal delivery of those legal documents goes directly to this agent. They're basically your business's legal anchor.
Now, West Virginia has some pretty strict rules for who can actually fill this role. Your agent has to be at least 18 years old, and they must have a physical street address in the state. No P.O. boxes allowed. Most importantly, they have to be reliably available at that address during standard 9 to 5 business hours to accept legal documents in person. You could absolutely serve as your own agent, use a trusted friend, or hire a commercial service. Actually, a lot of founders choose a commercial service to keep their personal home address off the public record and ensure they never miss a critical notice while out of the office.
Okay, step 3, filing your articles of organization.
The absolute fastest, hands-down, most practical way to file this document is online through the West Virginia Secretary of State's one-stop business portal. What's so fantastic about this portal is that it handles multiple required state registrations in one single sitting, which is going to save you a massive amount of time and paperwork.
You'll be thrilled to know that the standard state fee to file your articles of organization is just a flat $100. And get this, if you are a veteran-owned business or a business owned by a young entrepreneur under the age of 30, West Virginia actually waives this initial registration fee entirely. How great is that?
Now, if you need your LLC formed immediately, West Virginia essentially sells processing speed a la carte. Standard processing takes 5 to 10 days and is completely free, but you can expedite it for $25 to get a 24-hour turnaround, all the way up to $500 to be official in just one single business hour.
All right, step 4, operating agreements and federal EINs.
First up is the operating agreement. Listen, while West Virginia doesn't legally force you to file an operating agreement with the state, skipping this internal document is incredibly risky. Going without one means the state's default rules will automatically take over any business disputes you might have down the line. An operating agreement lets you put your ownership percentages, profit splits, and management structures in writing so you control how your business runs, not the state.
You're also going to need to apply for an employer identification number, or EIN. Think of this as a social security number for your business issued for free by the IRS. You should definitely have this number ready before you even start the West Virginia one-stop portal filing, because it ensures a super smooth registration. Plus, you literally need an EIN to do basic things like handle federal tax filings, open a dedicated business bank account, or apply for specific local permits.
Step 5, state taxes and compliance.
Let's lay out your required state costs so there are no surprises. You have that initial $100 to form your LLC. But right after that, you need a one-time $30 business registration certificate. And finally, to keep your business in good standing, you have to pay a $25 annual report fee to the Secretary of State, which is due between January 1st and July 1st every single year.
I really want to highlight this specific document because it catches people off guard. It is absolutely critical to remember that your LLC isn't legally cleared to open its doors and conduct business until you pay that one-time $30 fee for your business registration certificate from the state tax department. Fortunately, you can handle this conveniently right inside that same one-stop business portal we talked about earlier.
And that brings us to step 6, avoiding common LLC pitfalls.
West Virginia is kind of unique because they technically let you skip naming a registered agent on your formation documents, which defaults that role to the Secretary of State. But rely on this at your own risk. It is a massive pitfall. If you rely on the state and the address they have on file for you is even slightly outdated, you could easily lose a lawsuit by default without ever knowing you were sued. Always designate a specific registered agent.
A few other easy-to-avoid missteps include trying to use a P.O. box for your registered agent, submitting a business name without doing a free distinguishability search first, or forgetting to grab that mandatory $30 tax certificate before opening. Also, whatever you do, never miss that July 1st annual report deadline. Doing so immediately triggers a $50 late penalty on top of the base fee and can eventually lead the state to forcibly shut your business down. No thanks.
Wow, okay, we've covered a ton of ground today. We went from naming your business all the way to keeping it compliant. I'd love to encourage you to jump into the comments right now and let us know what exciting venture you're building in West Virginia, or ask any questions you might still have. Let's build a community of founders down below.
And as a final quick reminder, this explainer is meant purely for informational purposes and isn't legal or tax advice. Please make sure to consult a qualified professional to get personalized guidance for your incredible new West Virginia business. So, now that you hold the exact blueprint to build your West Virginia empire, the only question left is, what are you waiting for? Get out there and start building.